Hey, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, my name is James and I am a hobby scrapper. This video is going to be a little bit different. I am going to do a little scrapping, but this video is about where can you find scrap. I've had many people ask me to make this video, so I'm going to give you the top 10 ideas of where I get scrap or where I think you could get scrap. Now, keep in mind, finding scrap is going to look a little bit different for everybody. It just depends on where you live. Like, I live in a small town that's considered remote, and me finding scrap, it's going to look a lot different than to someone, let's say, Mike the Scavenger. He's in the Houston area, and he's going to have options for scrap way more than me. But I do believe I'm going to give you ideas where anyone, no matter where you live, will be able to find scrap. And thinking of Mike the Scavenger, that will lead us to the first one on our list, and that is dumpster diving. Dumpster diving is a great way to find scrap. And if you've ever watched Mike the Scavenger, you'll know exactly what I am saying. That guy finds a lot of scrap. But yeah, you can go behind businesses, anywhere you see a dumpster, and a lot of time you're going to find stuff inside of there. Keep in mind though, dumpsters do belong to the business, and they may not want you, inside their dumpster. So it doesn't hurt to go inside and ask. Some places, they don't really care. You kind of just have to know your area. But if you watch these scrappers like Mike the Scavenger, you will kind of get an idea of how it all works. And I'm sure many of you have seen like construction dumpsters outside of someone's home, parked in their driveway. They're probably remodeling their bathroom or kitchen, but you're going to find insulated wire, brass fixtures, etc. Let me get these screws real quick. All right, so if you see those, you want to make sure that you knock on the door, let them know who you are and what you do and what you look for, and get permission to jump inside their dumpster. I've seen thubprint jump inside many construction dumpsters with no problems, but every once in a while, the owner will come out and they're not very happy. And I even remember one time they said, if you had just asked us, we would have let you in the dumpster, but you didn't. So get the heck out of here. Of course, thubprint is really nice and polite. But anyways, dumpster diving, great way to find awesome scrap. And that leads me into the next idea, and that is street scrapping. The day before or the night before garbage pickup, people will put out their garbage cans at the curb and any other junk that they're trying to throw away. You drive around and you see that awesome scrap. Scrapman69 does a lot of street scrapping as well. But you'll be amazed the kind of stuff that people are throwing away. And so get to know your area. And the more and more that you do this, I swear to you, you're going to, out of the corner of your eye, you're going to start spotting scrap everywhere. If you're just driving to the grocery store, keep your eyes peeled. People are always putting stuff out on the sidewalk or their yards, trying to get rid of stuff. That's what's so beautiful about scrap, is there's junk everywhere, and people want to get rid of their junk. And most of them are ecstatic, over the moon, to be able to find someone who will take their stuff off their hands. And while you're driving around doing a little street scrapping, there's also yard sales and garage sales. Now you might be thinking, I don't know about that. Don't people want money for it? Well, yeah, they do. But if you know the value of a particular scrap item, which I always share in my videos, you can find a microwave for $1 and you're going to make a profit off of it. Sometimes people just have a random box of like circuit boards that they're selling for a couple dollars. You just don't know until you stop there and look around. The other cool thing about yard sales and garage sales is a lot of times at the end of the day, when the sale is over, a lot of times they just be like, you know what? Take whatever you want for free. We don't care. We just want it gone. So there is potential for that. Not much of a board on that thing. I'd say a low peripheral board on that one at Board Sort. The next on the list is check Facebook Marketplace. You'll be amazed all the stuff that people are trying to get rid of, give away for free. And you can find some really good deals. You know, sometimes you might have to pay. I never pay for scrap, but don't be afraid to pay for scrap because a lot of times there's enough meat left on the bones to turn a profit. The next on the list while you are online is online auctions or even local auctions. You'll be absolutely surprised at what kind of awesome stuff you can get at auctions. Nice Junk, he bought like a window AC unit for like $2. And that thing was worth like $30 in scrap. He also once bought a 9,000 pound generator and made an insane profit off of that. He buys generators off of auctions for basically peanuts. So check auctions because you can buy pallets of computers. You can buy pallets of office phones. You never know what you'll find at an auction, but more times than not, you will find something that is dirt cheap and you can make a huge profit scrapping it. Obviously, if you can fix it or resell it, you'll make even more. All right, let's pause our list real quick and have a look at that scrap. Now, all of this steel, that can go into the light iron. And then, not much for circuit boards, but it is what it is. The battery connectors are actually brass. Sometimes they're steel, sometimes they're stainless steel. So a magnet and a file is going to let you know. There's all our screws, ball of insulated copper wire, and then those 4 chunks are aluminum. All right, I got this broken conference phone, so let's open this up while we continue our list. Next on the list is HVAC companies, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning companies. A lot of them got some gold pins. A lot of HVAC companies will be happy and thrilled if you will come and haul away all their dead and broken units for free. You're going to get copper motors, there's going to be insulated wire, there's going to be aluminum, there's going to be brass, all sorts of goodies. And most of them, like I said, are really happy to work with you, especially if you make a deal and say you'll come pick them up whenever they're ready for free. And in fact, you might be overloaded with scrap if you do something like that. But it's definitely an option, and I did a furnace in one of my videos, and it was pretty awesome. They're really easy and fun to scrap. And the next one on the list is something that's very similar, and that is pool installation and repair companies. I don't know if y'all have ever seen a pool heater, but they are loaded with copper radiators. They are like a major score. I've never had one myself, but I've seen them scrap, and they are awesome. But yeah, there's going to be motors, there's going to be pumps, there's going to be brass fittings, all sorts, there's going to be insulated wire. So again, it doesn't hurt to ask these companies what they do with this scrap, and if you can work out a deal with them. And like I said, most of them are happy to give away the stuff for free. Just be polite, be professional, and they're more likely going to work with you. Look at that keypad button. That's some pretty nice gold on there. A little bit of gold right there. You can talk to plumbers and electricians because they're going to have the goodies that we all want. But most of them deal with their own scrap because they know the value of copper and brass. Next on the list is computer repair shops. If you're into e-waste, they're going to have all sorts of goodies that they'll be happy to get away. Some of them, they might want to charge you a little fee for PCs, but if you know how you sell your scrap, like are you driving to board sort, or do you have to ship to board sort, or is your local scrapyard buying e-waste? This is going to let you know if you can afford to buy PCs or not. E-waste Mike buys PCs all the time, and there's still enough meat left on the bone that he turns a good profit. In fact, I mean, he makes his living off of e-waste and copper and brass. So that is definitely an option if you are into e-waste. And with the value of gold going up, it's what, $4,400 an ounce, which is absolutely crazy. As gold goes up, then so does the value of e-waste. All right, that's an interesting board. I would say that I'm not entirely sure, high peripheral or maybe low telecom. I'm kind of leaning more towards the low telecom. The next on the list is some scrapyards will actually sell scrap to you. They'll sell you motors, they'll sell you insulated wire. A lot of scrapyards, they will have PCs and they'll sell you PCs. Again, e-waste Mike, he will buy scrap from scrapyards, and there's still enough meat left on the bones for him to turn a profit. Now, it does help to have a working relationship. Some nice gold pins on that board. I don't, there's no chips on there. I don't know what board sort would pay for that. Maybe low peripheral. I'll save that for my gold recovery. But yeah, you have a working relationship with them. They're more than likely going to work with you and give you a good deal. Last and certainly not least, this is where I get the bulk of my scrap, and that is word of mouth. Tell all your friends, all your family, all your coworkers that you're a scrapper, what you do, what you're looking for, and you put that out there, and in time, you're going to start getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts. Because here's the thing, everybody, especially here in the United States of America, they have houses and garages and buildings full of junk that they are just dying to get rid of. But they don't know where to get rid of it until they find you. Now, I actually made some business cards. I went onto thubprint, and I had a bunch made. You can design them yourself. I don't remember what I paid for them, but they're super inexpensive. And on the front, I just have my name and my contact information. And on the back, I have a list of the type of items that I am looking for. And I will hand those cards out to anybody that I think might have scrap. And I'll even hand out extra ones so they can hand out ones to their friends and families and co-workers, etc. You will be absolutely surprised how thrilled and excited people are to get rid of their stuff. And then when you go to pick up that piece of scrap, whatever it is, then you can let them know, hey, please let your families, coworkers, etc. know what I do. Hand them some extra business cards. And I tell you, in time, you're going to start getting a lot of calls. Now, you can control how much scrap you want or don't want. You can tell people no if you don't want their scrap. There's even times where it's appropriate to charge a disposal fee. Like, for example, if you're going to go pick up, let's say, a washer and dryer, and you know in that area, like where I live, the scrapyard isn't convenient for people to get to because of the remote area where we live. So they have to pay the dump to get rid of the washer and dryer. But if you have to drive 20 minutes to pick up that washer and dryer, you know there's not a lot of scrap value to it. So you can say, hey, I will be glad to pick this stuff up, but there is going to be a $25 or $50 disposal fee. And most people, they're completely okay with that. Now, if you're a little old lady who's living off of Social Security It's probably better just to be kind and maybe just take it for free, but that's up to you to decide. I actually, that welder generator video that I did quite a while ago, I went to the guy's house to pick that up, and then while I was there, I noticed a bunch of other stuff. And I ended up, I think I have left there with 2 full pickup truckloads of awesome scrap. So you just never know. When somebody calls, you might thinking, well, I'm only getting 1 item, but you might be leaving with a whole bunch of other stuff. I got one guy where he will just put together a pile of scrap, and then once it gets big, he will call me up and be like, hey, I got a truckload for you. And I've gotten an insane amount of brass and copper from him. There's another lady. She has an old barn and an old garage and a bunch of other buildings. I think I've already hauled, 4, maybe 5 truckloads off of her property, and there's still more there. Some of that stuff y'all have seen me scrapping videos, like that old medical equipment. I guess the point I'm trying to make is people have junk and they want to get rid of the junk. And once they find out that you are somebody that wants their junk, you've got a brand new best friend. But that's how I get most of my scrap. And there's been many times where I have been hired to clean up a property or a building, get paid to haul the junk away, and just take the shred straight to the scrapyard and then bring home the goodies and process them later. So I've already been paid to handle the scrap. Now it's just a cherry on top with the bonus extra money of scrapping and having the fun of scrapping. All right, well, that is my top 10 ideas where to find scrap. I hope some of that was helpful to y'all. I know that depending on where you live, some of it just isn't possible, but definitely go for the word of mouth. Don't be afraid to tell people what you do and what you're looking for, because trust me, they'll become your best friend when they know you will take their garbage, their junk off of their hands. All right, well, that is going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. To all of my subscribers, y'all are awesome. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I truly appreciate it. All right, let's say a quick little prayer, and then we will wrap this video up. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for another glorious day, Lord. Thank you for all the goodness that you do in my life and you do in the lives of others. God, I just ask that you will bless all these wonderful people, Lord. Just bless them with abundance and greatness, Lord. And I pray, God, that you'll help them to find scrap, Lord. I pray that you will open doors and that people will get the things that they're looking for and everybody will win. So, God, I just pray that you will please help these people. And, Lord, I just pray for anybody who is sick right now with the flu or the cold or whatever it may be, that you will please heal their bodies. It's a terrible time of year for illness, so I know there's a lot that need your help, God. So I lift them up to you now. I pray over them all. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. All right, my scrappy friends. Until next video, God bless you.